The early morning sun cast its gentle light upon the forest, bathing the earth in golden tranquility. The Buddha sat beneath a tree, his posture serene, his presence radiating calmness and wisdom. Buddha's eyes opened slowly, revealing a gaze as calm as the surface of still water after the storm. Today, Buddha began, his voice resonating softly, we shall speak of relationships, their nature, and the essence of connection. Movement, he began, does not commence with the body. It originates in the quiet depths of the mind. The disciples listened intently, their breaths slowing as they absorbed the significance of his words. The mind, restless and untrained, scatters motion like fallen leaves in a tumultuous wind, he continued. Pausing briefly, relationships, too, must be nurtured by trust, compassion, and understanding, like the lotus rooted in the earth's gentle embrace. The disciples listened intently, their faces filled with reverence, soaking in wisdom like parched ground receiving rain. Stillness is not the absence of movement but the harmony of motion with awareness, the Buddha explained gently. Each movement, each action, flows from the choices of a focused mind, he added with unwavering conviction. He rose gracefully, his robes flowing like water, and began walking slowly through the lush forest. Let us walk, he said. And together, we shall discover the unity of stillness and motion. The disciples followed him, their footsteps cautious, echoing through the forest like whispers of their learning. Feel the earth beneath your feet, he instructed. Be aware of the connection between your body and the ground. The path meandered through trees, the air fragrant with the scent of blooming flowers and fresh greenery. With every step, place your attention fully on the act of walking, the Buddha directed. Demonstrating his words, the forest seemed to respond, its rhythms echoing the deliberate, mindful steps of the group. A novice stumbled, breaking the harmonious cadence, his face flushed with embarrassment at his perceived clumsiness. The Buddha turned to him, his expression warm and forgiving, embodying compassion and patience. Do not chastise yourself for stumbling. Stumbles teach us where balance lies, he said, calming the novice's mind. To walk mindfully is not to walk without error but to be fully present in every motion, he clarified. The disciples resumed walking, their movements imbued with greater care and attention after the interaction. They reached a clearing, bathed in sunlight, where the Buddha paused, turning to face the group. Observe your breath as you stand, he instructed. For the breath is the silent rhythm of all living motion. Each disciple stood motionless, their focus inward, attuned to the rise and fall of their breaths. The Buddha continued, his voice now a gentle flow, guiding them through the layers of awareness. Each inhale is a beginning, each exhale a release, echoing the cycles of creation and dissolution, he said, as they breathed. The disciples began sensing a deeper connection to the pulsating life of the forest. One disciple spoke hesitantly, Master, what if the mind strays and the breath feels distant and hard to grasp? The Buddha nodded, acknowledging the question with respect and an understanding smile. When the mind strays, gently guide it back, as a shepherd brings a wandering lamb back to the fold, he said. Buddha stopped at the riverbank, pointing to the water's surface where a bird landed, ripples spreading out in circles. Observe how the ripples spread, Buddha said, his voice steady. A single act reverberates, affecting all it touches. The novice who had stumbled earlier knelt before the Buddha, his eyes filled with a mix of wonder and confusion. Master, he said, how can stillness truly exist in a world that constantly changes and flows? The Buddha knelt beside him, his hands resting softly on the young disciple's shoulders. Stillness is not external but internal. It exists as a refuge within us. No matter the outer turbulence, he explained. Picture a river, he continued. Its surface ripples and churns, but the depths remained tranquil and unmoving. The novice nodded slowly, his gaze lowering as the metaphor began to take root in his understanding. The Buddha stood, addressing the entire group now, his presence commanding yet kind. As the day stretched onward, the disciples carried Buddha's teachings within their hearts, seeds of truth sown in fertile soil. The river flowed, the lotus lay untouched, and the sun cast shadows long upon the earth as time passed. "Observe the river," the Buddha said, his voice carried by the wind. "Its flow mirrors the flow of our existence." The disciples watched the river, entranced by its undulating currents, its ceaseless journey toward some unseen destination. Like the river, motion is constant, yet it has a source and a path, a beginning and an end, he added. The Buddha stopped by an ancient tree, its roots coiled like serpents, and gestured for his disciples to gather around. "Today," said the Buddha, his voice a calm river of sound, "we will speak of the threads that bind us." They descended to the riverbank, where the Buddha instructed them to sit, their feet nearly touching the water. "The river reminds us to let go of rigidity. It flows around obstacles, adapting yet remaining true to itself," he said. His disciples sat in silence, their minds intertwining with the movement of water, breaths synchronized with the currents. Mindfulness is not an act but a state of being, a conscious embrace of all that moves and changes, he said. The sun had climbed higher, casting its golden light over the river as the lesson reached its conclusion. The Buddha turned to his disciples, his voice filled with assurance and a trace of joy. "Let this moment guide you. In stillness and motion, may you discover the boundless depth of your own existence." He rose, signaling the end of their lesson, but the beginning of their deeper journey inward. The disciples followed him back to the forest, each step now purposeful, each breath a sacred act of mindfulness. They carried the teachings within, ready to explore the unity of stillness and motion in their daily lives. The Buddha walked ahead, a serene beacon, embodying the very harmony he had so eloquently shared. Another day dawned softly, the first light painting the horizon with hues of gold, waking the world from its slumber. The disciples gathered again, eager to continue their journey, their faces marked by both anticipation and serenity. The Buddha stood amidst them, his demeanor tranquil, his robe flowing gently in the morning breeze. Today, the Buddha carried with him a collection of small bowls filled with clear water, each resting steadily in his hands. He handed a bowl to each disciple, his movements deliberate, an unspoken lesson already unfolding in the act. "You carry water, but you also carry mindfulness," he said softly, his voice resonating like ripples across the stillness. "The bowl reflects your mind. Its balance mirrors the harmony or chaos you nurture within," the Buddha explained. The disciples looked down at the bowls, their reflections distorted by the subtle tremors of their hands. "Today, we walk, yet our task transcends mere movement. It is mindfulness that transforms motion into sacred connection," he began. The disciples formed a line behind the Buddha, each holding their bowl carefully, a symbol of their inward journey. "Hold the bowl, not with fear nor disregard, but with gentle purpose, balancing effort and awareness," he advised. The Buddha started walking through the uneven forest paths, his own bowl steady, his presence exuding calm mastery. The disciples followed, their movements imbued with focus, every step deliberate, every shift of balance introspective. The forest came alive as they traversed its depths, the sounds of nature harmonizing with the rhythm of their steps. One disciple stumbled upon a root, and water spilled from his bowl, fracturing his focus into frustration. The Buddha paused, turning back to the disciple with a gaze filled with patience, devoid of any judgment. "Master," the disciple said, his voice trembling, "the water spilled because I could not maintain my concentration. A breeze stirred the web, causing it to sway, yet it held firm, its design adapting to the forest's breath. The disciples marveled at the spider's craft, seeing in it the wisdom the Buddha described, woven into their own lives. Was it distraction, fear, or rigidity? Understanding the root leads to freedom from repeated missteps, he said. The disciple nodded slowly, his grip loosening slightly, his gaze now resolute with renewed commitment. The Buddha resumed walking, his pace steady, his steps quiet as whispers against the earthy ground. They reached a narrow path, carved between dense walls of trees, its twists demanding intricate attention to every motion. Here, your bowl is not your burden. It is your teacher, the Buddha said, his voice guiding their focus. Some disciples tightened their grip, their knuckles white from exertion, their bowls trembling under the pressure. Too tight a grasp clouds mindfulness, imposing rigidity upon an act meant to flow naturally, he said. Demonstrating, others held their bowls loosely, spilling drops of water as their movements lacked purposeful care. Looseness invites recklessness. Mindfulness must find balance between effort and surrender, the Buddha explained. His tone unwavering, he walked steadily with his bowl, its contents serene, his strides reflecting the perfect equilibrium of attention and intention. The disciples formed a circle around him, their breath steadying after the climb, their hearts open to receive his words. Today, the Buddha began, his voice low and resonant. We shall explore the self, for it is the root of all relationships. Here, we pause, the Buddha said, his voice calm yet firm, signaling a moment of reflection amid their motion. They stood silently, their breaths steady, their bowls cradled gently, their minds attuned to the stillness. The Buddha faced them, his gaze tender, his voice imbued with the quiet power of timeless wisdom. The bowl, like the mind, reflects the interplay of intention and action. Observe how this balance shapes your path, he said. A disciple spoke hesitantly, his bowl untouched by spillage yet his spirit restless. Master, my water remains, but I feel no clarity. The Buddha nodded, his expression compassionate, acknowledging the disciple's struggle with understanding. Success without mindfulness is failure veiled in accomplishment. Clarity emerges not through outcome but through presence in the process, he explained. Focus not on preservation alone, but on the rhythm, the balance, and the awareness guiding each motion, he added. The disciple bowed his head, his understanding unfolding like the petals of a lotus in the morning light. The Buddha gestured toward a hill beyond the clearing, his hand guiding their gaze to its gentle ascent. Let us ascend together. Each step a reflection of harmony, each movement enriched by mindful awareness, he said. The disciples followed him, their bowls steady, their breaths synchronized with the rhythm of their progress. The ascent challenged their focus further, each uneven step testing the balance between effort and presence. One disciple lost balance briefly, spilling a few drops, his reaction marked by acceptance rather than frustration. Master, he said, his voice composed, I see now that the balance lies not in perfection but in conscious adaptation. The Buddha smiled faintly, his expression an affirmation of the disciples' growing understanding. Adaptation without loss of purpose mirrors the wind. It bends yet retains its essence, the Buddha said. They reached the summit, where the view revealed an expanse of endless forest, a testament to interconnected existence. The meditation stretched into stillness, each word a seed planted in fertile soil. After the meditation, the Buddha spoke again. The bowl teaches us this truth. In movement and stillness, awareness connects us to the unity of existence, he added. The disciples contemplated his words, their minds and hearts expanding, resonating with the profound interconnectedness he described. The sun reached its zenith, illuminating the group as the lesson reached its culmination. Its wisdom timeless. The Buddha turned to them, his voice gentle yet firm, carrying the weight of centuries of wisdom. May your steps beyond this moment carry the mindfulness awakened here, and your bowls reflect the clarity within, he said. He began descending the hill, his disciples following, their movements now an embodiment of sacred purpose and connection. The forest enveloped them once more, its rhythms synchronizing with their renewed presence and mindful awareness. The disciples carried their bowls carefully, their grips neither too tight nor loose, their spirits aligned with balance. The journey continued, each step echoing the profound truths they had learned, each breath a celebration of mindfulness. The Buddha walked ahead, his stride deliberate, a beacon of harmony, leading them to the depths of their own understanding. Another day unfolded quietly, the morning air thick with serenity, the world waking slowly under a soft, golden veil. The Buddha stood at the foot of a mountain. His disciples gathered, their eyes reflecting expectation and determination. Today, the Buddha's presence felt even more profound, his silence speaking volumes before his words began shaping the day's lesson. We ascend not just this mountain, but the mountain within, the climb of understanding, balance, and conscious presence, the Buddha said. His disciples nodded silently, their faces serene yet thoughtful, ready to undertake both the physical and spiritual journey ahead. The Buddha began walking, his strides deliberate, each step reverberating with a calm rhythm in harmony with the world. The mountain trail wound upwards, uneven and rugged, testing their coordination, strength, and the mindfulness they had cultivated. Life's path is never smooth. Obstacles strengthen resolve when embraced mindfully, transforming trial into opportunity, the Buddha explained as they climbed. A disciple stumbled on loose stones, his hand clutching the mountain's edge, a tremor of frustration shadowing his face. The Buddha turned to him, his voice steady and kind, carrying the patience born of timeless wisdom. Stumble not in anger, find lessons hidden in loss of balance. For understanding blooms amidst imperfection, he advised. The disciple nodded, his breath steadying, his grip loosening, his heart opening to the Buddha's compassionate perspective. They continued the ascent, each step deliberate, their movements synchronous, reflections of the harmony resonating from Buddha's teachings. The mountain grew steeper, the air thinner, the effort multiplied, testing their endurance in mind and body. Motion tests not only the body but the mind's ability to stay present in struggle, the Buddha said gently. Each disciple moved cautiously, their steps revealing their individual interpretations of balance, perseverance, and mindful focus. One disciple paused, his gaze fixed on the distant horizon, the vastness overwhelming his sense of progress. Master, he said hesitantly, how does one measure advancement when the path appears infinite, the goal unreachable? The Buddha turned to him, his expression tranquil, his answer unfolding like petals of wisdom in the wind. Progress is not measured by distance traversed but by presence cultivated with each step, he explained, his voice steady. Goals do not complete journeys. Mindful understanding does. Reach not outward but inward to perceive growth, he continued. The disciple lowered his gaze, the weight of realization settling softly within his heart, grounding his restless spirit. As the climb persisted, the disciples began noticing their breath, short, strained, requiring conscious effort to remain steady. Breath bridges the body and mind, uniting awareness with motion. Each inhale and exhale guides us like rivers, the Buddha said. His disciples followed his example, their breathing synchronized with their steps, stabilizing their pace amidst the mounting strain. They reached a plateau where the mountain offered respite, its flat surface inviting reflection before the final ascent. The Buddha gathered them, his voice soft yet imbued with strength, preparing their spirits for the ultimate challenge. Stillness exists here and now, even amidst motion. Observe how nature holds balance between movement and rest, he said. The disciples observed the trees swaying gently in the wind, the grass rippling softly, the clouds drifting above. This harmony, this balance, reflects life's rhythm. Mindfulness reveals the connection between struggle and serenity, the Buddha explained. A novice approached hesitantly, his voice faltering under the weight of his inquiry. Master, can struggle ever cease? The Buddha's gaze rested on the novice, his expression compassionate, his answer flowing like water through rock. Struggle ceases not, but acceptance of struggle transforms it. Harmony flows from embracing challenges with presence, he answered. The novice nodded slowly, his understanding settling within like seeds planted in fertile soil, promising future growth. The Buddha rose, signaling the continuation of their journey, his movements deliberate, his presence leading them onward. The final ascent began, its steep incline testing every ounce of strength, every fragment of mindful perseverance. The disciples climbed, their bodies weary yet their spirits strengthened by the clarity of Buddha's teachings. The summit emerged gradually, revealing a view vast and infinite, intertwining earth and sky in sacred unity. The Buddha stood at the peak. His disciples gathered around him, their silence charged with awe and introspection. Here, we witness the summit, yet, it is not the summit that completes our journey but the wisdom within, he said. Observe the vast interconnectedness before you. This unity reflects life, where stillness and motion coexist harmoniously, the Buddha continued. One disciple gazed at the horizon, her eyes shimmering with tears of clarity. Master, I feel both small and infinite. The Buddha nodded, his gaze tender, his words wrapping around the profound expression of her insight in interconnected existence. Individuality ceases yet flourishes. Smallness and infinity flow into one through mindful understanding, he explained. He gestured toward the descending trail, his voice imbued with serenity and gentle command. Let us return. The descent began, their movements purposeful, their presence unwavering, each step embodying the harmony of stillness and motion. They reached the mountain's base as the sun began its descent, casting golden hues upon their journey's conclusion. The Buddha faced them, his voice soft yet resonant, a reflection of the timeless wisdom he carried within. The mountain lies behind us, yet its lessons endure. Carry its teachings not as burden but as guidance, he said. The disciples bowed deeply, their hearts filled with gratitude and understanding, their spirits transformed by the sacred journey. The Buddha led them into the forest once more, his strides flowing like water, his presence grounding their own. The forest embraced them, its rhythms synchronizing with their breaths, its wisdom intertwining with Buddha's teachings. Their journey continued, not in ascent or descent, but in the endless unfolding of mindfulness within their hearts. His suggestion was met with cautious optimism. Blessed One, will this truly prevent future conflicts? Asked a Shakya elder. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.